depth perception issue. Let me tell you what I mean by that. If I ask you right now, do you have a vision for your life? Do you want to be happy or sad? What's your vision? Happy, right? Rich or poor? Right. You want to give things to people, be a contributor, or just take all your life? Right? You know that. You want to travel, have great memories, or just like stay at your house every single weekend and watch Netflix. So you know you have a vision for your life. Everybody does. Here's the hook. Most people think it's really far away. They think it's like 20, 30, 40 years away, and because they think that, they act in accordance with that belief system, and they perpetually keep it there. This is a fact. It's something you need to evaluate. And then, oh my gosh, the market's changing. Rates are going up. Oh, now it's really far away. Now I'm just playing defense. Now I'm just trying to stay in business. That's going to be the mindset of almost everybody in this industry, or the industry that you come. I'm just going to, man, if I could just ride it out. How many of you have heard this already? Man, this is going to weed out the weak from the strong. What a ridiculous way to go into business. What if this was a time to dominate? What if this was a time to thrive? See, I've made fortunes, hundreds of millions of dollars in down markets. And then I've done pretty well in good markets. I just met a guy. So here's the truth. You're a lot closer to your dream and your vision than you think you are. And if you can that's right. If you can begin to believe that and act in accordance with it, which I'm going to help you do today, we may come back in a year and you tell me, wow, my life changed big time that day. Because here's the truth. I know for sure, I'm 51 years old, you are one decision away from changing your life. One meeting, one relationship, one new emotion, one new thought, one new encounter, one speech away from changing your life. And these one mores stack up over time. I'm a product of a bunch of one mores in my life. And so are you. There's already been a decision or two that's changed your life, good or bad, right? How many of you are married? Right? Those of you that are married, meaning that one person changed your life. It's never been the same since. How many of you have children? The birth of that precious baby of yours totally changed the direction of your life. There's one event, one decision, one moment can completely alter the direction. The thing is, are you looking for them, or are you just trying to hang on? Are you looking for them actively? What's the meeting? What's the person? What's the relationship? What's the thought? Are you hunting them down? Let me give you an example of it. Playing golf about 3 months ago. And there's this guy, the particular club that I belong to is like, it's the who's who. It's a pretty cool place. It's been a lot of mentors for me there, but name drop time. Tom Brady's a member there. Tony Robbins, my buddies, Stallone, the Kardashians, Kris Jenner, Ellen DeGeneres, Adele moved next door to me. John Elway, Bradley. Not Bradley, he can't afford to do that. I love Bradley, not even remotely close. So, 46 Bradleys couldn't afford to live there. So, the real Bradley and the fake Bradley could not afford to live there. Okay. By the way, that's my dude, I'm completely kidding. He's the funniest dude in the world, I'm just kidding. Not really though. And so anyway, there's this guy there and says, hey man, this guy's a fan of yours, wants to play golf, and this guy's kind of wearing me out for like a month or two to do it. I'm like, look man. So finally there's this Sunday, my buddy Richard Cabeza canceled on playing golf with me. And so I said, all right man, I'll play with this guy. So I get to the tee box, first tee, the guy goes, oh man, Ed Mylett, I can't believe I spent 5 hours picking your brain, hearing your story. And I'm like, you're not. You're not, come to an event, get coached by me. No. I said, I want to know your story. Because for me, I love people. I want to know what moves them. I want to know what's made them successful or what they need to be successful. How can I help them? And so I said, tell me your story. He goes, well, we could just do it here on the tee box. It's real quick. And he says, I think this will be fitting for all of you. This is dramatic, and it's not going to happen to you this way, but it's the point of that you're one decision away, one relationship away, one event away. He says to me, look, in the market tank of 1986, this guy approaches me and asks for a $50,000 loan. So does he ask my best friend. We both loan him the $50,000. The market's terrible, everything's going to crap. This dude's got no track record. I loan him $50,000, my buddy loans him $50,000. And about a week later, my friend gets cold feet, says, give me the money back. So the guy gave him the money back because he's that good of a dude. I continued on with the loan. It turned into $750 million for me. So I got a little equity. I said, dude, who'd you loan that money to? Jeff Bezos. I said, that was a really good decision, dude. He goes, yeah, I didn't know it at the time. That dude, in the worst market ever, was one decision, one relationship, one event, one meeting away from completely changing his life. Now, is it going to be that dramatic for you? Has it been that dramatic for me? One event? No, but I've stacked these one mores all my life. And I've stacked these one mores to get me to a place where like you want to listen to me. And that still blows my mind. And so you got to be looking for these one mores, because everybody you know right now, the media, everybody's going to tell you this is a time to hang on, quit, retreat. And I'm telling you, multiple times, I'm old enough to have been through that market. I went through 9/11, I went through 08, and I've made money, lots of money in all of those markets, in all different businesses, and so can you. Because you're going to think differently. Let's go. Think differently. You are going to think differently, especially when we're done today. So, that video really bugged me, so we're going to fix this really quick. So, not to take the jacket off part. I want to show you something. Yeah, right. You look at that video going, yeah, dude, you do need to get back in the gym. So, let me show you something. Let me tell you about me. Really me. You ever watch a weight loss commercial? You ever, these fitness companies, like, they show you these shredded, jacked people. Is that really that motivating? To me, what's motivating is when they show you the fat guy 3 years ago and now the jacked, shredded dude. Isn't that more motivating to know the before and the after, yes or no? Way more motivating, right? So for me, I want to show you the before me. And then when we'll go from the before me, then I'll show you what I did to change me, that I think some of those, because I think success leaves clues, maybe some of those things can help you. Okay? So here's the before me. I'm in a business where we recruit people like some of you are in this room, the financial business. I want to be successful. I have no self-confidence. I just flunked out of playing baseball. And I'm in this business and I'm young. And I went on an appointment and I was really broke at the time. And I'm driving a Honda. How many of you are old enough to know what a Honda CRX is? Does anybody in here know what that car is? Just say I if you know what the hell that is. Oh, I love you. Okay, cool. The rest of you can Google it while I'm talking. So listen, I'm driving this Honda CRX and it's an appointment. I got to go to these people's house and I'm broke. And I'm like, I'm so broke. Let me tell you how broke I am. I'm so broke that as I'm driving there, because it was right by Cal State LA, and I lived in Pomona. Yeah, lap of luxury in Pomona. And right off of Mission. And awesome apartment, $650 a month. And so I'm there and I'm calculating as I'm driving there the amount of gas I have to make it back. Because I think I don't have $20 in my bank account to go to an ATM to get a 20 to come out. I think I have like 14 bucks. I'm praying I've got like 23 in there so I could go. I don't know if any of you have been in this situation before, but I'm like, if I got 23 in there, it'll spit the 20 out. If I got 14, I can't pull any money out of this bank. I don't think I'm going to get home. So I'm already sweating that. I go in, give my presentation to this family. They say no. It's an awkward thing when someone says no to you, but it's even more awkward when you're in their living room and they go, no, you can leave now. You're like, well, thank you. I'll just pack my shit up here. So I'm packing my stuff up, completely emasculated. They can't wait for you to leave. They don't even look at you really, you know. They're already back to, I remember this for sure, this appointment. She's like, well, it was great having you. He's already like watching the Laker game while I'm packing up my stuff. Like not even looking at me. He doesn't even say goodbye to me. She's like, well, thank you. I'm like, hugging, no hug, handshake. It was weird, right? I get out to my car, my CRX is parked, and by the way, I parked it about 5 houses away from them so they wouldn't know how shitty my car was. I get to my car, the window's broken out of it. And I'm like, oh man. Back in those days, everyone stole radios. No one does that anymore. Those of you that know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about. By the way, if you were like an Alpine in there, like you were bumping back in the day. I had an Alpine in my $5 car. I had a $300 stereo in my $5 car. Actually, my rims were about $200, but the car was a piece. The window's broken out. I get in the car. They didn't take the radio. They took the passenger seat. And I remember getting back in my car like, what kind of a specific criminal is on the hunt for a Honda CRX passenger seat? And I'm the dumbass who has one. So I'm driving back, I can't make it back, I run out of gas on the way back, I gotta call my girlfriend who's now my wife to this day. I say, you gotta come get me. I'm on the side of the 10 freeway, and they took my seat. I need you to help me. They took my seat, and I remember going, I think I'm quitting. This isn't for me, I'm not any good at this. I'm not even as motivated as the other people. I go to these meetings, everyone's jumping up and down, I'm like, chill, like, that's intuitively not my style. I don't get the rah-rah. I didn't like the rah-rah. I didn't understand it. I'm like, yeah, like, I think you all truthfully, like, want this more than I do. Because I don't come from that kind of a family. My family never had dreams. Remember, my family never went on vacation. Rich people probably got their stuff through some ill-gotten means. You know, so I was really thinking about quitting, and then for some reason that day I did not quit. And I made the decision that day. I told my then girlfriend, I said, I'm going to save up some money this month. I got to get a good car, because the reason these people aren't buying from me is I don't look rich. Which was wrong. It was that I sucked at closing. Right? But I'm like, I don't look rich. So now I make the money, I have a couple good months, and I'm like, all right, I got $6 grand, I'm gonna buy a Mercedes. Except, this is a true story, none of this is exaggerated. I promise you what I'm telling you, every word is true. You're about to laugh your ass off and never look at me the same again, but I wanna be vulnerable. So, I'm in the penny saver, which is, y'all don't know what that is, but the old people in here do. I love that like 20% of you are like totally with me. I love that, right? I love this. So, I go through the penny saver. All these Mercedes, I want a Mercedes convertible, 5 or 600 SL. All of these cars are 50, 60, 70,000 bucks. No. Like the 8th one down says Mercedes-Benz 600 SL, in parentheses, kinda. This gets my attention. So I start to read it, and it's only $6 grand. Except it's not a Mercedes-Benz necessarily, it's a Mercedes-Benz body that's been put on a Chrysler LeBaron. It's called a kit car. A couple of you know what a kit car is. A kit car is when they take the body of one car, they strip it, and they weld it onto the body of another car. Which is really good, except the problem with this particular car is that a Chrysler LeBaron has a back seat, and the XL doesn't. And it's 2 feet longer than a Mercedes. But I'm like, this is interesting to me. It will at least look like a Mercedes. I'm gonna go check this thing out. I leave Pomona in my 1-seat CRX, drive down there, I meet this lady. No question in my mind, there was some methamphetamine involved in her universe at the time. And I said, let me see your car. She goes, you're gonna love this thing. I guess bless her heart. So I won't say it. But these teeth were hanging on by threads. And I'm like, just hang on over here. And so, I have drug addicts all over my family. I'm allowed to joke about that. So I get to the car, and she's like, look, the inside, I just want you to know, it's a really old Chrysler LeBaron. It has a back seat. She goes, listen, I'll just be honest with you. Half the people don't know, half the people know. And I'm like, well, what happens when people know it's not a real car? She goes, they laugh like unbelievably hard next to yourself. But if you can deal with that, the other half of the people won't know. She goes, by the way, the heater blows full time too. I'm like, okay, cool. So I get in the car, and I don't drive it. I've never test driven any car I've ever bought. I just am weird like that. There's a reason why, but I'm not going to tell you. So at the end of it, I go, you know what? Tell you what, I'll give you $4,500 for it. I've already got this story in my mind. I'm going to tell my team it's the first ever hybrid. You know, Chrysler and Mercedes merged. This is the first one. I got it right up good. You guys keep closing like me. You're going to live the dream. I got this whole story I'm going to tell my team. And she goes, cool, I'll take it. I give her the $4,500. And I swear to you, this is the truth. I swear to you. As I'm getting into the car, she goes, one little thing I didn't tell you. I said, yeah. She goes, it's not welded on there. I'm like, okay, how'd they do it? On my children, what I'm about to tell you. It's Velcro. Wait a minute. I just bought a Velcroed car, is that what you're telling me? With the heater blowing full time, it's 2 feet too long? That's what I'm telling you. And a couple warnings. When you pull up to a stoplight, go easy. Because if you pull up too fast, this front left headlight is loose. It will fly off into the intersection. Look at me, I'm getting total goosebumps, and I've told this story a few times. For some reason today, it's affecting me. And I said, you're shitting me. She's like, no, it'll happen, so be careful when you pull up to a stoplight. Sure enough, in my lifetime, so yeah, that video you saw was great, but I've had more than 100 times. By the way, I have a huge Forbes named me the fastest growing businessman in the history of social media. I got like the #1 book in the world, the #1 blog. I don't know, wait. This is just contrast stuff. All that crap's happened. Let me say this to you. If we could go back in that day, I'd have 100 million followers by now. For the wrong reasons. But I'll be the most viral MFer in the history of Instagram. Let me tell you why. More than 100 times in my life, my damn life, I have pulled up to a stoplight way too fast. And that headlight has flown off into the intersection. So more than 100 times, I have stopped traffic in my cheap Men's Warehouse suit. Hold on! At stoplights all over North America. pulled my own headlight out of the intersection. They would watch me go back and stick it back on the Velcro of my car, and then get back in my vehicle. Can you imagine if there were cell phones and social media back in those days? Literally imagine that. And by the way, I think people would start following me just to make multiple videos of me. Of those 100 times, more than 30 of them I shut the door too hard and the door falls off. I want you to imagine you were in the world watching a man do that. That's how I started in business. I went from that to 5 jets. I went from that to, I have 3 oceanfront homes I currently own. If you want one, I'll sell it to you right now. In Laguna Beach, 3 oceanfronts. I have my home at the Madison Club in La Quinta, the club I just told you for. $35 million home. I just bought an island in Portland, Maine that is the best piece of property in the United States, maybe the world, bar none. I paid off my parents' house, my in-laws' house, and you name it. All that stuff you see me on social media have, I own free and clear. Island, 3 houses, desert house, jets. I have no debt of any type whatsoever. I don't know how broke your ass is when you got here today, but I bet you did not drive here in a Velcro car. So if I can go from there to here, by the way, just proof, so we go up to the screen. Here's an ad for it, kit car for sale. This is the reprint I did a long time ago, just so you know this is real. Mercedes-Benz fiberglass full body kit for the Chrysler LeBaron. Bam, there it is. She was asking $8,500, she dropped it to $6,000. Just for fun, which one's my car? Anybody know the real from the fake? How many of you think the whitish silver looking one is my car? Say aye. How many think the blue one is my car? Say aye. So nobody really knows. Let's just do this real quick. We can figure this out real fast. Look at the front left headlight on the white one. See the big gap there? See how there ain't on the other car? Bam, that's my car, right there. That headlight is loose. By the way, last thing I'll tell you about that car, I drove it for 4 years. In the 3rd year, it got stolen in Pomona. And the thief got 1 block from my house, left the car with the keys in it. I'm not taking it back, but it's right here for you. Figured out what the hell he was driving. All right, you can pull that thing back up. Okay? I tell you all that to give you hope as we begin. Now, what did I do from there? Let me give you some keys of what I did. Number 1, let me give you some things to write down. Pretty good hope, by the way. Would you agree? You have never had a damn speaker tell you that story before. Okay? That's why people ask me a lot. They go, well, you seem to have some humility about some of the things you've achieved, because I know where I come from. I also know how blessed I've been to have mentors. A little bit of luck. God's been unbelievable to me in my life, and I busted my ass. Okay, so I'm going to take you through some of these things. So here we go. A couple things I had to do. I had to change my relationship with pain. All great people have a different relationship with pain than average and ordinary people. Our natural tendency as humans is to avoid pain, to run from it, to reduce it in our life. I figured out pretty early on that the successful people that I admired the most actually pursued some version of pain. They were willing to go through pain to get what they wanted, and the relationship with it was different. My relationship with it in the gym is different than most people. My relationship with it in business is different than most people. I know what Napoleon Hill says in his book is true, which is that all pain is temporary. And on the other side of temporary pain, you get introduced to your other self. This is a fact, but you have to pursue the pain. You have to be willing to go through the pain. Most people run and avoid it. I had Phil Heath on my podcast recently, 7-time Mr. Olympia, massive man. I said, why are you successful? He gives me all this answer. I said, Phil, that's absolutely not why you're successful. You're successful because you have a totally different relationship with pain than a normal human being. You go to the gym to pursue pain. You go to the gym to crush legs. Most guys avoid legs. When you're going through pain, you chase more of it. Most people that go through pain try to get rid of it. So in life, on the other side of temporary pain, we meet our other self. I've met my other self multiple times. Let me give you an example. Growing up, my dad was an alcoholic and a drug addict. And I don't wish that on anybody. It destroys families. It destroys self-esteem. When you're a little boy like I was, I had no self-confidence. I got bullied at school. My dad was a drunk. There was nobody would come over our house when I was a little boy. The loud house. Mr. Mylett's on fire again. He's crazy. And when I'm 5 years old, I got 3 little sisters and a mom. I had to figure out, let me give you an idea of what you get as a blessing through pain. I didn't have a childhood. I'm 5 years old. I would have to figure out, when my dad would come home, I would hear his car pull up, and I knew my job was to read my dad when he came through that front door. I had to read him. Which one was I getting? If it was drunk dad, I had to get my sisters upstairs immediately. And I had to get my mom to go take a shower or a bath or something to get her away from him. And I'll deal with him. At 5, as the oldest boy. All of you come through some sort of dysfunction in a family. And when he would come through that door, I started to learn how to read him. I'd be present with him like you cannot believe. And I could read his physiology, smell his breath, his hair, how he walked, how he talked. And I knew whether he was drunk or not. In fact, I got so good at it, I could tell by the sound his key made in the lock. If he sort of struggled to get his key in, meaning, get Andrea and Erica upstairs, Mama, go take a bath. If it went in the key really smooth, the lock really smooth, and he came through and he was dry, maybe we're just going to have dinner and it's going to be great and play some basketball in the backyard. The second thing I would have to do if he was drunk is I'd say, I'd have to change his state, and I would grab his hand. I learned how to change states in people and talk. And I'd say, Daddy, how was your day? Oh, I said, well, I got a 93 on my spelling test. I hit 2 home runs in baseball practice. You did? Wow, that's awesome. Well, you know, I did have this one meeting that went good. I go, that's awesome, Daddy. That's awesome. Mimi, when she comes down, she got 100 on her spelling test. And I would change his state. Now, what I didn't know was going on there that whole time, that pain I was going through was preparing me to meet my other self. I went from that Chrysler LeBaron kit car to 5 jets and islands for 2 reasons. I can read people and be present with them. And I can change their state when I speak and talk to them. I've made hundreds of millions of dollars because I went through that. Whatever you're going to go through or have gone through in your life, that temporary pain, if you'll stick through it and learn the lesson on the other side of it, you meet a different human being than you currently are. And so this next window, you can give an applause to that. That is a big now, how do you say, well, hey, man, I feel for you. That sounds terrible. You go through that as a kid. What neglect you went through. And I did. By the way, my dad got sober when I was 15. By the way, right, it's cool. Only, and stayed sober the rest of his life. Only my old man, by the way, would get sober on 420, but he did. My dad's sobriety birthday is 420. The rest of his life, we never celebrated his actual birthday. We celebrated his sobriety birthday, right? Pretty cool. So listen to me. People say, that was a really neglectful experience. Some of you come from divorce. That's neglect, isn't it? Parents who didn't love you the right way. Didn't talk to you. Some of you may not even know your parents. Maybe there was just noise or abuse, verbally, physically, whatever in your home. Maybe there wasn't enough love. Shit, maybe they didn't give you enough water. I don't know, right? But there's an insidious form of child neglect that's going on all over the planet that people don't know about. The most insidious, invisible form of child neglect in the world today. You want to know what it is? It's a child being raised by a parent who's not pursuing their dreams and their potential. You are, ouch. You are installing that that's okay to settle in your children. Most things as parents when we have children are caught, not taught. They catch it. They learn it's okay to settle. They learn it's okay to say, oh, sweetheart, you can be whatever you want to be. Why aren't you, Mama? Why aren't you, Daddy? Man, you can be in the major leagues, son. Well, why aren't you in the major leagues of your career, Dad? You can change people's lives, my precious girl. How come you don't? So the most insidious form is you doing to install into these precious children of yours or future children of yours that it's okay not to pursue your dreams and your potential, especially if it gets tough. You'll see me cool it. You'll see me lose my temper. You'll see me not happy. You'll see me settle. See, you're going to teach them something. See, this dude right here, my will to win's not for sale. You can't buy my will. No amount of success. I've got hundreds of millions. I'm here on a Friday. I leave here, I go to Vegas. I speak twice tomorrow. You can't buy me with success. And you certainly can't get me to sell my family out with failure. But many of you, unfortunately, with enough failure, enough rejection, enough stuff, you will quietly start to back away from pursuing your dream and your potential. You'll make excuses. The market changed, this, that. We'll get back. I really didn't like those people I was working with. You know, it's just not always cracked. I was getting out of balance is what was happening, really. You have whatever you say, but what's starting to happen is you will sell your will to win and sell your family's dreams up the river. Don't ever do that to your family. Don't ever use them as an excuse. Don't ever give in. Don't ever quit. When my dad got sober, I said, Dad, are you never going to drink again? He goes, Eddie, I cannot promise you that. What I can tell you is I'm not going to drink for one more day. The one mores in my life started there. He got sober by giving it one more try.
And for me, many times in business, when my back's been up against the wall and I've been hurt, people have lied to me like they have you. Let me down. I'll be there, man. I'm fired up. Don't show up. We're ready to close. We thought about it. We're changing our mind. You know, hey, man, let's put some money in there and you do all the work and they don't do anything. I got all those. And every time that's happened, I was going to quit. Many times. People say, have you ever thought? I thought about quitting like 50 million times. I've even gotten really close. But when I get there, I go, I just won't quit for one more day. I don't need to decide I'm never going to quit. I need to decide I'm not going to quit today. Today I don't quit. Today I work. Today I get after it. Today I pursue it. That's the difference. And then what do you do when you're working? Like, what is it I should be doing more of, Ed? Let me show you. What do these people have in common? Jobs, Oprah, put me up there, what the heck? Kris Jenner, Musk, Andy, my business partner, my coach. I just love that I put him next to Mother Teresa because there's absolutely DJ, who, by the way, is on my show next week. Dr. King, who's my hero. What do all these people have in common? Because they all do different stuff. Can I tell you? They're evangelical about their cause and their mission. When you're around them, they're a person who converts others, converts them by public preaching or messaging to follow them, their vision, to buy into their vision and their dream. Great leaders are evangelical about their cause and their mission, not the money all the time, not the recognition all the time. The cause, when you're around them, you get around a great dad, man, they're fired up about their family. I told my kids all the time, we're gonna do something great. We're gonna do something great as a family. Like, all right, Dad, we're like, no, I'm telling you, we're doing something great. Max, you're gonna do something great. I'm doing so your mom's kicking butt right now. This family's awesome. This family's gonna do something special. We're different. Do you tell your family that? We're out in your business. What's the mission? What's the cause? How infectious, how intense is it? How repetitive is it? You can pull that down. You pull that down. See, you got to get better at selling the dream while living a nightmare. You got to get better at selling the dream, casting your vision over and over and over and over. Business is not about saying new things to old people. It's about saying old things to new people. You got to get new people all the time, new clients, new recruits, new business partners all the time, new investors, do whatever it is you do, and stay on mission, stay on point, to the point where they get around you. See, I read this book many years ago called Selling the Dream by a guy named Guy Kawasaki. He was the dude who basically helped build Apple's marketing. And I also know Steve Wozniak very well, who's the founder of Apple. He's been into my coaching program. I love Steve. And I want to know the lessons. And what Kawasaki said was, you got to get so good at selling the dream that the dreams of everybody around you can fit inside the one you're selling. You got to get it inside there. It's got to get bigger. You got to get better at it. You don't have to do it yelling like I am. It could be written. It could be email. In fact, sometimes it's way more effective when you just say it quietly. Because I know you mean it, man. But you got to get clear about your vision and your dream and repeat it to people over and over. The other thing you got to get good at doing is understand what business you're in. I know there's diverse businesses in here. I know some of you are in EXP. I know some of you are in real estate and mortgage. Some of you are in sell pianos. Right? I'm in now 31 different businesses right now. And let me tell you what I've learned. Those aren't the businesses I'm in. Those are the delivery systems to deliver the actual business I'm in. See, great entrepreneurs know one thing. They know what their product is. Your product is not mortgage or real estate or pianos or financial services or lemonade or protein shakes or any of the above. That is not your product. It's the delivery system. And average entrepreneurs sell their product. Average entrepreneurs do not have a cause and a crusade and a mission. They don't. Great entrepreneurs, in fact, maybe 30 in the country, know what I'm about to tell you, and I'm going to give it to you because I know it. That's how I made my money. I'm in the happiness business. See, in life, it's not, people don't want a jet. They want how they think it'll make them feel. They don't want a dream relationship. They want how they think it'll make them feel. They don't want $1 million a year income. They want how they think it'll make them feel. They don't want to win the #1 award. They want how they think it'll make them feel. People are chasing feelings in their life. Energy, feelings. The more you begin to understand that, you will begin to speak a different language to people than you're currently speaking. I know you want to feel something. I know you want to feel something. What's the ultimate emotion? Love and happiness. May sound corny, but the reason my dad's state would change is I would make him happy with that 93. I'd make them happy with that home run. You're in the happiness business. Let me prove it to you. Number one real estate holder on planet Earth is a company called McDonald's. Number one on Earth. They also sell and distribute the most food on Earth. Is that not crazy? How can you be dominant in both businesses at the same time and your food sucks? Seriously, how do you do it? How do you do it? Because they're not in those businesses. Ray Kroc figured it out real early, man. I'm in the happiness business. Number one selling meal at McDonald's is actually called a holy crap! And their mascot's a clown. What does it have to do with fried meat with pickles on it? Absolutely nothing, but he found a way to correlate that experience with happiness for people, and it's the number one distributor of food. In fact, the reason they don't sell onion rings worldwide is there's not enough onion farms, onions in the world to go through their distribution. That's the happiness business that they're in. Most people lose in real estate, mortgage, insurance, whatever it might be, because they're in those businesses. The best, even if they don't even realize they're doing it, get better at correlating happiness. This will make you happier. You'll be happier. They're preaching happiness all the time. That's the crusade. Can you put his phone down for me? Thanks. Appreciate it. I know you're looking me up. You can look me up when I'm done. I'm at Mylett. I'm pretty Googleable. Okay, so listen to me. Steve Wozniak, I said, Steve, why'd you call it Apple? Why'd you call it Apple? Why'd you and Steve call it Apple? He goes, oh yeah, he's kind of a prodigy. And A was early in the phone book. But the real reason was Steve said Apple's made him happy. So we named it Apple. And then when you go right now, go to YouTube and watch any video of Steve Jobs rolling out a new Mac or a new product. You think he's describing the megs and the speed and the whizzing? You think he does any of that? No, watch it and go, listen, how'd you like to take her home with you? Look at her curves. How happy would you be to have her on your arm or your lap? He says this as he's describing an inanimate object. Tim Cook, who runs Apple, is my neighbor. I've mentioned this to him many, many times. Brother, the one thing that he did great that you guys are going to get back to doing is that this device will make people happier as opposed to the pixelization of the camera's better. No one cares. You got to get back into the happiness business, man. We had the CEO of Harley Davidson come in and speak to my group. He goes, all we're trying to do is create a delightful experience for people. That's happiness. What am I saying? You got to get better at creating an experience with people. When they have the experience, they're happy. You're promoting happiness. You link it to your product, your experience with them. That's where referrals come from. Not jam it down their throat with like, all right, you got me, but I'm not saying, I need to have had such a delightful, happy experience with you that I can't wait to tell people about it. And what's happening with me is I'm going, this person makes me happy. This company makes me happy. This experience makes me happy. Everybody with me on that say yes? Yes. Last little piece. McDonald's number one product isn't hamburgers. You know what they actually distribute the most of? Coca-Cola. Number one distributor of Coca-Cola, which is the number one soft drink in the world. And if you get a Coke, you get a Coke and holy crap, this dude's brilliant up here. Wow. So you're telling me all these companies that are great at anything are actually in the happiness business? That's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you. That's why social media started with likes. Even though it's probably become a detriment, it was a way people could go get affirmation and happiness and acknowledgement like that didn't get anywhere else in their life. It's the number one used platform in the history of mankind. Happiness. You starting to get it? Part of your homework assignment is I got to get better at linking happiness to what I do, and I mean really messaging that as my crusade and my cause and linking it to my product. Please say you kind of understand what I'm saying on that. Real quick, I don't want to go too much over on time. Let me show you a couple things up here. This is my dad. I'm going to cover this briefly because I've given this talk 5 times. It debilitates me when I give it. I don't want to give it as long, and probably a few of you have heard it, but I want you to hear it differently today, and I'm going to do it quickly because it hurts me to give it. I don't like giving it. I wasn't going to give it today, and they kind of convinced me backstage to do a few minutes on it. So this is my dad. My dad's my hero. He's my best friend. My dad got sober when I was 15, and it changed our family forever. That one decision my dad made changed our family forever. Changed me forever. I honestly think probably I would not be here with you because what happened with my dad, people go, man, why do you believe so deeply in human beings? Because I watched my hero completely transform his life. I watched him live a certain way for 15 years that was not good. And then I watched him live the next 35 years that was miraculous in my life. My dad died last year. I watched a human change. I don't think humans can change. I know humans can change. I watched my hero do it. My best friend is that dude right there. Knows everything about me. My favorite dude to hang out with. In fact, about every single time I speak, when I walk off the stage, and I'm not a professional speaker, I'm an entrepreneur, but every time I speak, literally a thought will hit me. I can tell can't tell him. I don't get to call my dad anymore. Dad, I rocked it. Actually, I've never said that before. You go, how'd you do? I go, it was a 6. Yeah, I could have done better. That's me and my dad. I was actually once a relatively good-looking dude. This is the 3 Ed Myletts. That's my papa in the middle. My grandfather, the dude in the middle, let me tell you where I come from as a family. My grandfather's dad died in a gutter in South Boston, drowned in front of a bar. Passed out drunk, no one pulled him out of there. The gutter flooded and he drowned. That's where I come from. His son's Papa. That happened when Papa was in the 4th grade. He quit school in the 4th grade to provide for his family. If you met my Papa, you'd love him. He's funny, he was a gregarious dude. Look at the shirt he's wearing. But on D-Day, he stormed the beach of Normandy with 15 dudes from his high school. Three of them came back. Imagine that. You're an 18-year-old boy and you got your dudes from high school and some other dudes, and all of a sudden, from nowhere, and you're one of the few that can make it back. Imagine that experience. The guy to the left is my dad. That's when he was heavier. And then me. We're all named Ed Mylett. I'm Ed Mylett III. Edward Michael Joseph Mylett III. A week after that picture was taken, Papa died. Last time I saw him, last picture we took. And when it happened, I was very sad, but the other thing that happened is it occurred to me, oh my God, Dad moves to Papa's seat, I move to Dad's seat, just like that. Just like that. And then this day I'm playing golf with my dad, my favorite dude to golf with. We both aren't good golfers, but it was 5 hours with my best friend. We talked about everything, politics, life, religion. We agreed on none of it. But that's my guy. It was 5 hours with my favorite human. That day he's breathing heavy. My dad had my voice. My dad was a dude. I watched my dad in more than 50 fights. Angel game, side of the freeway, after church one Sunday. Seriously, we left church one Sunday, we're in the donut line, Father Potoff at St. Dennis Church in Diamond Bar. Some guy said something to my dad he didn't like. I don't know what the hell it was. We went up and got into his Datsun V210 hatchback, drove back around the church. I'm in the back seat, it's starting to rain. My dad goes, hey. Dad goes, what's up? Walks over to the car, my dad grabs from in the car, bam! Headbutts him in front of everybody getting donuts. Guy falls out, my dad just drives away. We went back to church the next Sunday. Like nothing happened. I'm like, you need some more Hail Marys and Our Fathers. You don't even need to tell that in confession because the priest watched you do it, literally. So, long story short, I said, go get this checked. He comes back. 2 days later, my dad had a 12-hour surgery to remove the tumor the size of a football from his chest. They got most of it. He told me, he goes, look, I've got liposarcoma, I've got cancer, it's advanced stage. He goes, Eddie, here's the deal. I'm going to treat this one time. I'll go through chemo and radiation one time. If it doesn't kill it, I'm going to let it go. I'm not going to be a burden to our family. I'm not going through all this pain. I'm not going to lose my hair. I'm not going to get skinny. I'm not doing any of that stuff. I said, okay. That started an 8-year battle. Chemo, radiation, therapy, surgery, proton, chemo, radiation, proton, surgery, 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 chemo, chemo, proton, experimental chemo. He went through all of it, like he said he wouldn't. And I asked him, why are you going through this, Dad? Why are you going through this? Man, all the one mores in life. He goes, yeah, I'm willing to go through it because maybe I'll get to one more graduation of one of my grandkids. Maybe I'll get to one more wedding of my granddaughter. Maybe I'll have one more grandbaby. Maybe I get to go to one more Christmas recital. I'll go through anything. I didn't know it. He goes, Eddie, the one more is a life. When they're threatened to be the last ones, all of a sudden they become a lot more valuable. You want to know the power of one more? It's when you don't have them anymore. I said, okay, Dad. I show you this because I want you to think about your family, not mine. I want you to think about you. That's a year later. You can see it on his face, can't you? You can see this. You can see it. He's dying. Never complained, never nothing. But every time I would see him, I know he's going through pain. He's lost his hair. He's lost 80 pounds. Hey, how you doing, kid? How you doing, kid? I'm good, Dad. Now he talks like this. Who's in his lungs? Hey, how you doing, kid? I'm good, Dad. All of a sudden, something happened, though. See, in the old days, when my phone would ring, if I was in a meeting, I'd say, I'll call Dad back. I was literally in a meeting with a guy that used to run a very big country who I'm coaching. Really big country, like maybe the most powerful in the world. And the phone rang. And I said, sir, that's not what I said. I said, Mr. something, but I'm not going to say who it was. I said, sir, that's my dad. I'm going to take it. Because my dad's more important than him. See, when you start to lose somebody or lose something, all of a sudden their importance level changes to you. This is the next time I saw my dad a year later. That's not staying up on the screen very long. But you can see it now. That's the same man you saw earlier. See, I don't know if you have parents that are living or dead, but someday your dad's going to be my dad. Someday your mom's going to be my mom. Time's running out on you. Someday you're going to be my dad. Time's ticking away. I'm this close to dad's seat now. Every time I see him. Every time I see him. I want you to notice what my dad's wearing. In every one of these photos, my dad has a white golf shirt on and his glasses there. I point that out to you because I wanted to show you this picture. This is my dad in the hospital. He was in there all through COVID. I'd sit down in Pomona Valley's parking lot all day long doing my work, my podcast, whatever I need to do. Well, my father's dying up in the hospital above me, and I'm not allowed to see him. We would talk all day long. I'd say, how you doing, Dad? And what my dad would do is I taught him all these visualizations that are in my book, which he's going, that's just bullshit. Then when he got sick, he's like, hey, tell me the visualization thing. And the visualization thing sustained my father of 8 years. 8 years of visualizing his health and his well-being. But what he would do up in the hospital is he would visualize playing golf with me, somewhere where we had played. And my dad, you got that guy over there on the phone to like not be on his phone, thank you. My dad, I'd call him, I go, hey, what are you up to? He goes, we just play at Pebble Beach. I'm like, we are? I said, how'd we play? He goes, you played like shit. I said, how'd you play? 3 under par. I eagled 18. I'm like, okay, Dad, sure you did, right? My father would get up every day in the hospital and take his gown off. He's a proud man. He would go into the bathroom and take a shower and shave and put his golf outfit on every day in the hospital. He's wearing it right there. People aren't going to see us like this. That's not our family. It's not how I do it. This day, my dad called me after he ate that meal, about 20 minutes after. I said, Dad, what's up? I'm right downstairs. Come get me. What? Come get me. I said, Dad, it's COVID. I can't come get you. No. I want to go home. I go, Dad, you can't. We're going to get you another steroid shot. You're coming back. Listen to me. I want you to remember this. I have one more day. I said, what? I have one more day. I want to go home. I want to be at my home. With Mom. And you and your sisters, please. I said, Dad, let me check with the doctor. My heart's Doc, talking to Dad, he's talking crazy. Dad, I'd go get him. I said, what? I hate giving this talk. He goes, they know. I said, who's they? He goes, someone died. Get him. 5 hours later, that's my dad being wheeled into his home out of an ambulance for the last time. That woman right there is my mom, who we met in high school. 50 years of marriage, watching her husband come through the front door one last time. Someday, one of your parents is going to come through that door one last time. And by the way, if they've passed away already, honor them with the life you built. Someday, you're coming through that door one last time. And it could be sooner than you think. Like that Papa died. Like that Dad's gone. Now I'm in that seat alone. And I'm talking about stories of Velcroed Mercedes from 30 years ago. We wheeled him into the home. By the way, that's the same front door. That's the same door when I was 5. I had to figure out which dude was coming through that door. And if it was the wrong one, Mom would go upstairs. 35 years later, a totally different man came back through that door on his last day. A man who changed thousands of people's lives, loved his family, showed us all what love means by going through unbelievable pain to get sober, unbelievable pain to get through cancer because he loved his family. You want to do anything great in your life, attach it to the love for the people that you love. Attach it to love. You'll never quit on them. You'll never quit on your dreams if you make it that real. Right? This is my dad. This is my dad with about 1 hour left. I want you to notice what he's wearing. Got his golf outfit on. My dad would not take morphine for all the pain because it violated his sobriety. My dad woke up about 20 minutes after the picture, went, looked over at me. Hey, I'm so proud of you. I can't believe God gave you to me as my only son. He goes, I love you. Anyway. And he closed his eyes. That's the same dude who headbutted a dude outside of my church. Completely different man. And about 20 minutes later, he took one last breath. See, I know what that's like. By the way, what do you think of those moments of that one last breath my dad was worried about? His haters? The things he tried that he failed at? He cared about those 3 sisters of mine and my mom and our children. That's what matters in life, is the family and friends that you build. Celebrating the moments, the memories of your life. Listen to me. You're going to be in that position someday. When your parents are there, do you want them to be able to be proud of you that you did it, that they passed safely? They love what you've become. They're proud of who you've become. Or if they've already passed, you've honored them. But someday you're going to be there. You're going to be there someday. God bless your soul. You've got to get after it in your life. Never give in. All pain is temporary. On the other side of it, my dad got to go to heaven after this. The pain of that gave him heaven. So there's always a blessing after the pain. Always. It's the metaphor of life. After he passed away, I went upstairs and I had to pick up all of his stuff. I found all these index cards with hundreds of dates and names on them. And I'm like, Mom, what are those? Because it was an anonymous program. Eddie, those are all the people your dad helped get sober. I said, what? I don't know about any of this. He goes, Eddie, your dad helped thousands of people get sober. That's their sobriety birthday. He calls them all. That's just August. That's just July. This is just one card of July. He'd call you, hey, Don, happy birthday, brother. Make sure you stay sober one more day. Just one more. And then I found out he would do this over and over and over again. And then at his funeral, we didn't want a funeral. We did a celebration dinner. But his group, my dad had this group. And my dad lived in Diamond Bar, Pomona, but worked in the West LA. So he'd go to like one meeting a week where it's all famous people. The other meeting of the week's in the hood. So at my dad's service, all these people walked up and said something I've heard lots of times. Ed Mylett changed my life. Ed Mylett changed my life. Coffee shops, text messages, pulled me out of a bar. One guy gets up and goes, I was incarcerated for 23 years. Manslaughter. I had to go to a mandatory meeting. This white man walks across in a sweater and shakes my hand and says, I'm Ed Mylett. If I can ever help you, let me know. He became my best friend. I never trusted or liked a white man in my life until I met this man. He changed my whole life. He's pulled me out of bars. He's texted me. He's seen me for breakfast at 5 a.m. He saw me through chemotherapy treatments. He'd leave chemo and come see me. That's who my dad was. I tell you all that because you can change your life. You can make it different. You can make it magnificent. If you're with me, say yes. Yes. Okay? You are going to be in that situation someday. These one-mores are precious in your life. Let me tell you one more story about family and I'm going to wrap up. That's my son. I love talking about family. I want you thinking of your family when you hear mine. I was a college baseball player, a really good athlete. When my son started playing sports, he was terrible. So uncoordinated. Any of you dads out there like, Lord, this is a genetic fluke. Come on. To this day, my son is 20 years old. I do not know whether that boy is left or right-handed. No, and I'm not even, he would get hit in the face with the ball with the left hand and the right hand. He would strike out left-handed and right-handed. He played an entire basketball season, and made 2 points because a rebound bounced off his head and went into the basket. Flag football, he was the blocker. You know what that means, dads. Block, Max. Don't give him the ball. He started playing golf, same thing. Left-handed clubs, right-handed clubs. Then we moved to the desert. And when we moved to the desert, I go, well, look, let's just play golf. This is the biggest life lesson I'm ever going to give you. I said, Max, let's just play golf. We'll pick that sport. You can play whatever you want. My son actually started playing in tournaments with some left-handed clubs and some right-handed clubs. But out in the desert, all professional golfers and their sons are on this tour. You caddy for your son on the tour my son was on. So it was cool. I thought, well, I'm busy. It's 5 hours every Saturday. I get to be with my son. So I'll caddy, he plays. But you're playing against pro golfers and their sons. So we would show up to a tournament, I'm not kidding you, and there'd be like, guy dressed like Ricky Fowler, the dad, perfect matching, meticulous white pants, orange shirt, orange hat, white shoes, blah, 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 dialed in, son matching. We'd show up, I had to change to a golf shirt day, I'd have like a tank top on, my tats out, I'm like, what's up, carrying his clubs, my son's a ragamuffin. And Max lost every single tournament for 3 years. Every one. Dead last, DFL, like not even close. To the point where I stopped, I created, like, I don't even keep score. And we had to keep score, but I didn't really tell him what his score was. And I would always tell my son, I didn't want to be that crazy dad. I say, Max, you know Daddy loves you whether you win or lose. I can't love you more if you win, I won't love you less if you lose. I know, Daddy. And it became this fun thing. Fun. In fact, he'd get home, his mom wouldn't even ask him how we played. Did you have fun? Like, yeah, Mom, I had fun. And she'd ask me, how do you do? I go, 103. My son's such a good boy, he'd top a drive into a lake, and then you did a drive down, nice shot, Jacob! I'm like, jeez, he's a nice kid. I'm not that nice. The other kids are looking at him like, but you know you're in the lake, right? And we're competing here. And then our life changed. This day. By the way, he has a good golf swing, would you agree? Our life changed that day. He was warming up, and we played the front nine. And Max was playing bad. In fact, he was keeping our group behind. And he was 11 shots behind after 9 holes. And we were in dead last. And there's a long walk between the 9th and the 10th hole, and at that time the kids would grab a lunch and carry it with them the rest of the round. The lunch was far away, and we were behind. And one of the dads changed my life and my son's life in this moment, and I hope you never forget this. He goes, hey guys, I won't say the other 2 boys' names. The other 2 boys, you guys go up to the next team. Max will go grab your lunch. He doesn't care, he's out of it anyway. Max, go grab their lunch. Am I allowed to cuss in here or not? Should I not cuss? Honestly, I'm a Christian man. Do you want me to cuss or not? You want the real story or the fake story? I'll give you the real story. All right, I'll give you the real story. He goes, Max, go grab their lunch. I grab Max with a stick. I go, what the fuck did you just say? What did you just fucking say to my son? I said, did you ever talk to my son like that? Scared the hell out of him. Don't ever speak to my son like that. Oh, I know he is out of it. He's always out of it. I go, you know what? You guys go up there. I'll get the lunch. Max, stay with me. I said, Max, come here. I get down. My son is sweet. Yeah. My son had never heard me cuss before that. He heard his mom plenty, but never. Literally never. He'd never heard me talk like that. Or lose my temper like that, because my dad would lose his temper, so I never did it. And I got down on my knees and said, Max, come here. He goes, yeah, Daddy, go. We're gonna fucking win! We're fucking win! Dad, what about fun? And it's all about fun. I go, listen to me! Winning is more fun than fun is fun, Max! We're gonna fucking win! We're changing your shirt, we're putting your winning shirt on, put the blue one on. I literally changed his state, changed his shirt. I go, we're winning in this shirt, and I'm touching him, and I'm giving him the emotion, I'm giving his state. And I said, here's what we're gonna do. He goes, Dad, we're down by 11. I don't care. These are pro players in your kid. You have a great swing. I never told Max you have a great, your swing's better than theirs. You've gotten so good, you worked so hard, you hit more balls than any of them combined. Before school you go, after school you go. But Max, we gotta win now. It's time to win. And I said, listen, no practice swings. I pick the club, I tell you where to hit it, no negotiations this time. I've never told him what to hit, what to do, nothing. He goes, okay, Daddy, I'll go get the lunch. I go, Max, hit this 3-wood, because he needed a driver out of bounds. Hit this 3-wood. And I watch my son do his normal walk. My precious boy, now I'm over here, I'm like, I probably lost it too hard, you know, crap. Say something to Dave, sorry I said the F word for your kid. And I'm watching my boy walk. And he gets to the tee, they've already hit, and they're kind of standing there like, all right, let's go, friggin' Max, here we go. No one wants to play with Max. And he gets up, kind of down the middle, but I'm far away. But what I see is, he does it, and he kind of twirls the club. Like I'd never seen that before. And I look, and I walk up, I go, how'd you hit it? He goes, hit it down the middle, Daddy. I go, good shot, we're gonna win today. We're gonna win, you're a great player. We never had any of these conversations. Me, the king of this stuff, never had it with my own son. Let's go, we're gonna win today. We're gonna win. Okay, Dad, he's still kind of walking like this. We get to that hole, I said, Max, hey, listen, you got 142 yards, hit your 8-iron, onto the green, 10 feet left of the pin. Now give him very specific instructions. No practice swings. Okay, Dad. Gets up. Hits it about 20 feet left of the pin. Pretty good shot. Good shot, man. You're gonna win today. You're gonna win today. Okay, Dad. All of a sudden I watch something. Now he's kind of walking like this. Just a little different. Just a little different. We get up to the green. He's about to putt. I go, Max, line the putt up like the other guys. He's never even lined his putts up, right? He goes, okay, Dad. And then he goes into this complete fake. He has no idea what he's looking at. I'm not kidding you. And I'm like, what do you got? He goes, I don't know. 2 feet. 2 feet left to right, a little downhill. I have no idea either. I'm like, exactly, Maximus, that's what it is. Doink, birdie. Birdie, they both bogey. We're down 9. All of a sudden, he hands me the club back like this. Now I'm walking to the next tee. All of a sudden, I've told this story before, but I have massive goosebumps. I have to tell it quickly because I know I'm behind on time. So anyway, so now he's walking back. The next hole's a par 5. I go, you know what, hit the driver, smack it down the middle, Max. Sure enough, bam, down the middle. It's a par 5. We're in the middle of the fairway, hit it as far as the other 2 boys. There's a lake in front of this green with a block wall. This is where Jesus gets involved, in the round. I said, Max, hit a 3-wood on that freaking green right now. We're behind, we gotta go. Over the lake. Max has not even hit a 3-wood in the air many times in his life, right? I go hit the 3-wood. The other 2 boys laid up smartly. I'm like, we gotta go. They say, Max. I go, it's separation season right now, buddy. We don't catch them when they're on their A game. We catch them when they flinch, when they lay up, when they bogey. We're putting the accelerator down. We're going for the jugular. Okay, Dad. Completely not golf language at all, right? Sure enough, he hits this 3-wood. It's in the air, and I'm like, Jesus, listen to me, okay? Any of my sins, anything I've done, if you let this hit the damn green, I will praise you in every damn speech the rest of my life. Please! Which I have done. And it goes up, and it hits the wall. Bounces straight up in the air. Lands on the green. Rolls to about 5 inches from the cup. Max like, here you go, man. Walking up to the green now. We're kind of shimmying down there. Both these dudes lay up. Max gets over the putt, taps it in. Eagle. They par. We're down 7. I go, Max, we're gonna freaking win. I'll take you to the 18th hole. 18th hole. Max is now in 2nd place, down by 1. Okay, 2nd place. Totally different round of golf now. And the dipshit who said that to my dad, my son, said that they're in 1st place. That's cool. They both hit their drives down the middle. It's par 4. There's a lake in front of the green. Max hit his ball a little further than the other little boy. And I hear the dad say to his son, Jacob, don't hit it in the lake. You never tell someone what not to do. I said, Max, he's gonna hit it in the lake. You move right towards your fears. Just stuck that program right in your kid, you dumbass. Right? Sure enough, Jacob dunks it in the lake. I said, Max, 8-iron, knock this thing 10 feet left of the cup. Let's get out of here. And he does. Jacob is such a good player, he freaking holes out from the other side of the green. So now Max is in this situation. If he makes the putt, he wins the tournament. If he 2 putts, we tie. If he 3 putts, we lose. And of course, he goes into his normal, completely fake walk over the putt. And my dumbass goes, Max, it's downhill. Don't leave it too long. If we 2-putt, we're in a playoff. Max goes, Dad, we're going to win. I'm going to make the putt. This is not my kid anymore. I'm like, okay, no, let's go. Life's about to change. Bingo! Drops the putt. Yeah! We're screaming. Woo! There it changed his life. Let me show you something. That's my kid after he won with the blue shirt. See the medal? Okay? Two things about that picture. You can see it better, which you can't. You see his face is lit up. The other thing is you can still see how unathletic he is. Because LeBron James has never done it. Only my kid can do that. Only my kid, right? Only my dude. But let me tell you what that turned into. 23 straight wins. See, one day he completely changed his mindset from trying to just have fun and hang on to winning. And the message to you is you got to get focused on winning, dominating, getting aggressive. This is a fact. This is a mindset. And when you start to win, when you start winning, you start getting momentum. The momentum builds, your physiology changes, you change. I'm up here because of momentum and winning. You go from that Velcro thing to here. How? Winning, momentum, gaining it. Now, here's what happens. Then he goes on that day, he shot 64. His whole life changed. This is me and him in Hawaii a few years ago. That's now, he's a little taller than me. Since that picture, he's lost 80 pounds because he wanted to get fit to play golf. This is him signing his college golf scholarship to play golf in college. And he just played 3 weeks ago in his first pro tournament and made the cut. How the heck do you go from losing every single tournament and in 9 holes, in one moment, one decision, one day, totally changed his life. And now I don't know if he's going to play golf past this, but the point is, he's changed who he believes he is. Our identity drives everything. Now he's a winner. Now he's a winner. Now he's a competitor. Now he's a player. Every time he plays, I go, Max, dispense justice, man. Dispense justice. He goes, I got it, Dad. Totally different kid. Dispense some justice on these fools. Show them who's best. Dominate today. He was up in a tournament in college, like 5 shots. And he goes, hey, all I got to do is shoot the even part. I go, bullshit. Shoot 65 and blow these dudes out. They'll never want to play against you again. Get aggressive. I know this is a different side of me that you've seen before, but the fact is you got to have both sides. There's got to be this party that I'm a killer. I'm a dominator. I win. You're going to say it loud. You're going to be, I'm probably scaring half the people in here right now. But listen, you got to get aggressive when you play. Okay, so let me show you something. Right now, I recommend you go get my book. Even if you got it, I created a bonus book. Listen, I'm a great book salesman. All the proceeds from my book go to the shooting victims all over the world, so I don't make any money on the book, and I double it. You go to edmylettsbonus.com, grab my book, got some extra lines, got some extras. That's that. Let me finish with one thought for you. There's a book being written about your life. By the way, has today helped change your life, I hope, a little bit? There's a book being written about your life. Whether you're a person of faith or not, there's a book being written about you. Okay, sometime at some point your great-grandkids are going to come along and figure out you lived here someday. What did you do when you were here? Who'd you help? What are the difference you made? And I told you my dad's in heaven. Let me tell you why my dad's in heaven, how I know that. Let me tell you what I believe heaven is. I believe when you die, I'm a Christian, so I want to get there and the Lord goes, hey, well done, good and faithful servant. Get in here. It's all I need, right? But I actually think there's a little more to it than that. At least I've made it up in my mind. Here's what I think happens. I think you get introduced, because I think you were made in the image and likeness of God. I think there's a destiny for you. Your decisions shape your destiny. I think you meet who you were capable of becoming. I think when you get to heaven, the Lord goes, hey, just want to introduce you to the man or woman I actually made you to be. And that person's going to be standing over there with all your memories, all the contribution, all the emotions, all the moments, all the people you helped, all the achievements, all the stuff sitting right there. To me, when I get there, I want to go, man, I have been chasing you all my life. And I want to go, man, I've been watching you. You got off track here, there, the other day. But man, you kept chasing. You kept coming. You kept coming. You get off track, you got back on. You caught me. We're identical twins. To me, that's heaven. I've had all the moments, all the memories, all the contribution, all the emotions you could have in a great life. To me, that's heaven. Hell is you get there, and she goes, I don't recognize you. We're total strangers. You didn't do it. You didn't become who you could have. You didn't have the memories. You didn't have the moments. You didn't make the difference. Your life didn't become what it was supposed to become. And they walk away. To me, that's hell. I want to go to heaven. I don't know about you. I want to go to heaven. I want to go to that form of heaven too, where I max out my life. I'm going to believe that. I say yes. So, here's all I ask from you. Here's all I ask from you. Don't quit. Evolve, innovate, pivot, do whatever you got to do. Pursue some of that pain. Become evangelical. Repeat it. Sell happiness to people, right? Be vulnerable and transparent. Build your brand the way I built my brand. Building a brand is the key to everything. My brand is built on authenticity, vulnerability, and teaching people how to better their lives. You can do that as well. There's a moment in this meeting, I don't know if it's when I was speaking or another one, where you got to make the decision, just like Max did. And here's what happens when you do it. No one will know you did it. It's just a shift. You just go, yeah. I'm going to be a little different. I'm a little bit more bold. I'm a little bit stronger. I'm just more resilient. I'm a little more mentally tough. I'm going to express myself a little bit more. Just a little shift in your life. See, the difference between winning and losing, happiness and sadness, is so small. It's so small. It's almost too scary to talk about. But I figured out what it is. I know what this is. It's one more. If you're going to make 10 contacts in a day, you make your 10 contacts and you make one more. If you're doing 10 reps on the bench, you do your 10, you do one more. If you tell your daughter, I love you, every day, you tell her that, and you tell her one more time. When you start stacking up these one mores, you start stacking up paper. You start stacking up relationships. You start stacking up emotions that completely change your life.